I got started in officiating. It's kind of a funny story. I grew up behind Cloverdale School, and when I was about 11 or 12, Huntington College started their basketball program. And we used to, all the neighborhood kids would go over there whenever they'd play at home. And Scotty Sowers, who I became good friends with, Scotty would officiate their games. And Scotty, which you can't do today, but Scotty would slide on his knees when he'd make a call, and he'd throw candy out to the crowds. And I used to think, man, that'd be a lot of fun. I need to try to do that. When I was 12 years old, I started officiating intramural games there, for smaller kids, for like 7th graders or whatever, well, really it was like elementary school kids. And I remember I worked 100 games one year and I made $100. I got $1 a game. So anyway, the pay's gone up a little bit since then. It's real funny because when I try to think of a moment, I always come up with negative things. Like I had a game one time, in fact, with Lim Jones, who's getting inducted, this year also. And Lim and I were working, it was two-man crew, we were working a game in the Blue-Gray tournament at Lanier. And it was Butler County and Lanier playing, and I probably shouldn't have been called in Lanier's game since I played there. But anyway, I did, and it was a real close ball game, and it came down to the end, a few seconds left, and Bullitt County called timeout, and they ran a play, and Lanier stole the ball, and they went downfield. Lim was the lead official, and I was a trail official, and I was busting my rear end trying to get where I could see the guy shoot the ball and the clock at the same time. And sure enough, I get there and I see the ball and I see the clock. And I see the clock hit 0 and the guy shoot the ball and the ball goes in. Well, anyway, something in my mind said something's wrong here. I don't know what it is. Well, I go to the clock keeper, who was a certified official, and he told me, he said, I don't know. Which later on he told me the reason he did that is because the guy he works with, son, was playing for Lanier, and he didn't want to get involved in the final decision. Well, anyway, I think I got it right. So anyway, the next day I'm sitting over there. I had a ball game, and I was watching a couple of games before my game, and I realized what had happened. What had happened is the clock hit 0, the guy shot the ball, and the buzzer went off. So it should have counted. And anyway, it cost the team a game. So whenever I think of what happened, of a mess, when people ask me that, that's the first thing pops in my mind. I guess whenever I go by a school or something where, I've called a game that if it was a good game or something exciting happened or something bad happened, then I remember those things. The thing that gave me the most satisfaction or gratification of officiating really was the friendships that I've made. I know this is the 3rd class to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. I've been to the other 2. The reason I've been to the other 2 because the majority of the people that got in were good friends of mine. And like this class that's coming in this time, I think that I know all but, probably 1 or 2 people in it, and I consider them all my good friends, but it's that, and then making friends with the coaches too. When I was a young official and started out, there was a guy named Mike Hunt, who was a real good football, baseball, and basketball official. And he basically took me under his wing as a basketball official. And he would request that I go call games with him, and every game I ever called with him, we'd go get something to eat or drink after the game, and he'd sit down and tell me what I did right and what I did wrong. And that was just invaluable to me. And then later on, like I said, I got to be friends with Scotty Sowers, and Scotty would see me call games down at Troy. I remember one time he came to Montgomery the next day to critique me and to talk to me about the game and everything. Those 2 people really are the ones that, like I said, really got me going. In fact, I probably never would have called football if it wasn't for Mike Hunt, because he made me the umpire in his crew, and then he didn't touch the football. I was the one that made sure that ball was put down and everything else. And he really was a stickler on the rules and everything. My family has really been supportive of me doing this. My wife, Julie, she, really put up with a lot of this, especially since we had 3 boys were growing up and everything else. And, I missed some of the stuff they did, but just because I was out officiating or whatever. And they knew how much I loved officiating, and they really supported me. And, the reason I quit calling football games was because my son started playing football, and I wasn't going to miss his games on Friday night. So at that point, I gave up officiating football but kept officiating basketball. But if I was a first-year official starting out, and the advice I would give one of them is, first of all, is when you go to a game, you need to ride with the older officials. You know, you get so much knowledge in that car going to the game and leaving the game. You know, the way home, on the way there and on the way home, you know, you get to hear war stories, you get to hear plays called, you learn rules. It's just, it's irreplaceable. And then if you find somebody that's going to give you constructive criticism, don't make excuses about why you did this or why you did that. Thank them and ask to go with them more, because they're trying to help you to become a better official. My selection to get into the Alabama Sports Officials Hall of Fame really means a lot for two reasons. You know, it's my peers that have picked me to be in here. It's also, like I said, the friends that I've got, you know, that have been in here. They were in the first class. It's a real honor because I know a lot of those people that are in there, and I know what kind of people they are, and I know what kind of, you know, what kind of success they've had, and it's a lot of them have had a lot of success. I mean, this is a great group. It's a big honor to get in it. I know some people that belong in it before I do that I'm trying to, you know, get in here also. But I've had a great time in officiating. You know, being a district director in high school where I got to help younger officials get better. That was just a great privilege also. So I've had a good ride. So now it's time to ride off in the sunset.